Hey, I'm Del, and in this video I will tell you about my daily practice routine. I tried many different ways of practicing my aim, and so far this is the most effective way of practicing for me. This routine is based around breaking aiming down into smaller aspects and focusing on each aspect separately in short and intensive sessions. I usually do this practice once per day, and it takes me about 25 minutes to complete. Through my own experience, I noticed that doing regular practice is more beneficial than doing less regular practice, even if you spend more time on it. And I think that is because it's really hard to pay full attention to practicing during longer practice sessions. And in regular games, aiming well would become your normal state because you've already been aiming well during practice every single day, so you don't have to do anything special. Exercises which I'm going to show you are not complicated on their own, but you always can make them challenging enough to work towards improvement. This entire practice routine is done on offline map called Aimbots, so it's very consistent and easily accessible environment. This practice routine consists of 4 separate steps, and each step would require you to get to 150 kills. So in total this practice routine takes about 1000 kills on Aimbots, which takes about 25 minutes more or less. So it's warm-up, flicks, precise mouse movement, and tracking. Okay, now when you know these 4 steps, we can go and work on each in depth, and I would explain you why you do them and how you do them. Knowing why would help you to modify them to fit your personal needs later on. So we're going to use this recording of me doing this practice to explain each step. And as you can see, first thing I do when I load into the map is I change some settings. So first thing I do is I turn on uneven ground to make it more challenging, turn off Kevlar and helmets so bots can be one-tapped with M4 and pistols, and turn off bullet holes so there is no bullet holes and no blood. And I disable walls so there is less destruction. So, warm up. This exercise is probably the easiest one out of 4, so that's why it's first one, so you could warm up a bit. So during this exercise you're simply killing bots, so nothing hard yet. But what I want you to focus on additionally is every time before you shoot, make sure that your crosshair is exactly on the enemy head. Even if that means that you need to go a bit slower and adjust your crosshair a bit before every shot, just do that. It's very important that you try to land every single shot you shoot. So let's talk about why you're doing that. First and obvious one is warming up. But past that, making sure that your crosshair is on enemy head before you shoot is a very important skill in actual game. And yes, it's a skill which can be worked on and can be improved. In actual game you would have very limited time frame of when your crosshair is on enemy head in which you can shoot and get the kill. And often players who don't have this process automated blame the reaction for not getting a kill. Instead, it's often not about reaction time, but about being able to tell if your shot is going to hit or not, and make necessary small adjustments so it hits. So this combination of mental check if my bullet is going to hit and if it's not going to hit, what micro adjustments I need to do, is very important to work on, so you can be more reliable and more consistent in actual game. Okay, I'm done with 250 kills on warm-up, now it's time to move to flicks. So the main focus of this exercise is speed, so you have to focus on speed more than accuracy. And what I mean by speed is general speed of you moving your mouse between enemies. And it's absolutely up to you if you want to try to land a flick shot, or you want to take a bit time after flick to adjust on enemy head. It's absolutely up to you, feel free to combine them, mix and match. And, as you probably can guess already, the main point of this exercise is to make you move your mouse quicker than you usually do. And there is important reason for that. Sadly, a lot of players don't even tap into potential of how quickly they can aim, because they never work on it. Like example, when you see people work on aimbots, they usually just stick to accuracy practice and nothing else. And because of that, they never really improve their speed as much as they could. But working on your fundamentals is a key to improve your aiming significantly. If accuracy is always your primary focus, you will not improve your aim as much as you could, because working on other fundamental skills, surprise, will decrease your accuracy while you're practicing, because you're in the process of adding additional skills to your aiming which you're not that comfortable with yet and you're not that familiar with yet. Like example in this exercise, at first it would feel strange, you probably would get tired quickly, it would feel uncomfortable to move quicker than you usually do, you would have to constantly force yourself to do that. But after some time, you would get used to it, and it would become more familiar to you, it would become norm for you. And after it becomes norm for you, your accuracy will follow. And by working on slowly increasing your speed over a long period of time, you can make your aiming significantly quicker than it used to be. Okay, now we're on the third step, which is precise mouse movement, or in other words, precise aiming. So in this exercise, you're trying to move your mouse from one enemy to another in straight line motion with consistent speed and no overflicking or underflicking. If you feel like when you try to aim your speed were inconsistent, you overflicked or underflicked, or you didn't move your crosshair in a straight line, then just skip the bot you were trying to aim at without killing him and move to another bot. This way you only get kills as celebration of completing this action successfully. So when you get to 150 kills, it's meaning you've done this action successfully 250 times. And I cannot emphasize enough how important and beneficial this practice is. So one of the obvious benefits is you would get better at consistent speed movement. So you would find it easier not only to track players, but also your crosshair placement would improve because you would find it easier to keep your crosshair in the same place even when you're moving. But even more importantly, you teach your muscles precise movement from bot A to bot B without overflicking or underflicking. So that would pretty much mean that every time when you try to aim in the future, you would overflick or underflick less, which will allow you to either shoot quicker or use this extra time for something else, like making sure that your shot is actually going to hit. During actual game, there is not much you can do to give yourself more time to aim, but you can use time you're already given more effectively. So by aiming closer to the enemy initially, you give yourself much better chances of actually hitting the shot. Alright, done with precise aiming, and now final thing we're going to practice is tracking. So basically, I was looking for a way to become better at tracking moving enemies, but I really didn't like how bots move on aimbots. So instead, I thought we can reverse the role. What if I were the moving one and bots were stationary? So by doing that, I can really easily track how well I'm doing in keeping my crosshair on enemy head. But also it's a good way to practice your sidestepping and strafing, because you don't have to fully stop to shoot them, you can just counter-strafe and shoot after you've been tracking bot for a few seconds. Basically, as you can see, it's very straightforward exercise. You pick a bot, you aim at his head, you start moving left and right randomly, while keeping your crosshair at enemy head and trying to not off-aim it. After tracking for a few seconds, you can kill him as a celebration of you successfully doing it. I usually like to do 125 kills with rifle and then 125 kills with pistol because of different movement speed. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and I really hope you found this tutorial useful, or at least some parts of it. I really hope this practice is going to help you as much as it helped me, but if it's not, then I hope you find other way to practice which fits you better. Either way, thank you for watching. Last part of this video is going to be some Counter-Strike edit I've been working on for months. Not in the sense that I put months in it, but I couldn't finish it for months, so there is quite outdated clips in there, but I wanted to post it somewhere at least, so there you go. But if you're here for just aim practice, then you're done. Go on and try it yourself, and I hope you see good improvements. Bye!
One more bomb. Nice one. Two more.
-1 open A.
He's in the left-hand corner. What's all the connections? Nice. Nice.
I have a good idea. Just see it. You don't have high ground.
That's a good idea,
yeah.
man. That's a good idea. One second. I got...
He's back.
Братан. Bombi. Go down.
One more.
I will smoke city. City smoking, we can take that. One more.
Two B. One more.
Pressure is under.
Under.
Oh!
He tried to Zeus. He tried to Zeus me. One more ups. Bomb. One balcony. One more side.
Someone needs to take bomb.
One more short. Oh, flash A. Out ramp. More. Bomb. Yeah, connector and his bomb. I got him. Two main, careful. Don't shoot me, I'm friendly. Yeah, no worries. He's dead. One was long. One was short. Yeah. Last is one, right?
Yes!
One was out ramp. Do we need second help? Because I have hope right now. Ramp.